Okay, in this video, what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be justifying my pick of Brock Lesnar over Fedor. Now, in order to understand this pick, you have to go back to the beginning. I actually started off in a debate with this guy in one of the forums that I frequent, and he's a big Brock Lesnar fan. He was telling me, Randy Couture is not just going to roll through Brock Lesnar. And of course, I didn't take him seriously. I said, whatever, Brock Lesnar's going to get stomped. Randy Couture is going to walk through this guy. It's going to be an easy fight. Of course, I hadn't researched the fighters too much. I just knew a little bit about Brock Lesnar and his training methods based on, what you saw on the Spike TV special. And, obviously, that was basically it. I care less about Brock Lesnar at that point. Now, what I started doing after that is I wanted to do my due diligence, actually, look at Brock Lesnar as a serious competitor and see exactly how he stands against Randy Couture. So I started looking at some behind-the-scenes stuff, looking at some more of his training methodology, along with his skills, his background in wrestling and whatnot. And I have come to the conclusion that Brock Lesnar is a fucking monster. Okay? I think a lot of people are giving Randy Couture a huge chance here in November of beating Brock. And I'll agree. I think that Randy Couture has a good chance of beating him, but not for the reasons that people are thinking. I think that Randy Couture is looking at this like, okay, where can I capitalize on a mistake Brock makes? Brock being new to the sport, he only has 3 mixed martial arts fights at this point. This is his 3rd fight in the UFC, and it's the 2nd time he's fought either a champion or a former champion in the octagon. So he's fighting these seasoned vets. He beat Heath Herring, and Heath Herring is a really seasoned vet, really good fighter. And what impressed me most is the dominant way that Brock Lesnar was able to do it. He was able to basically control Heath Herring, hold him on the ground, and beat the hell out of him. I watched some more about Brock Lesnar's training and the way he conditions himself, and the guy's a fucking animal. Okay, he's just a straight fucking animal. He trains his ass off. I don't think there's anyone in the sport that works harder than Brock Lesnar. He's already in his 3rd year of training in mixed martial arts, and because of his solid foundation in wrestling, he's extremely dangerous. Everything about Brock Lesnar versus Fedor Emelianenko is basically a bigger Randy Couture versus Fedor. Every problem that I would see Fedor having with Randy Couture is actually amplified when you put that into Brock Lesnar, because Brock Lesnar has the same strengths as Randy Couture. Now, I think that when we see this fight between Randy Couture and Brock in November, we're really going to see how Brock has changed his wrestling and how he is picking up more skills and how he's going to apply that to mixed martial arts. Do I think it's a guarantee runaway win for Brock? No, I think that there's a chance Brock may make a mistake and Randy Couture could beat him. However, I am picking Brock in this fight. I don't pick against Randy Couture. It's the first time I've actually picked against Randy Couture since I started watching the UFC. I watched, all the way back before Randy Couture beat Chuck the first time, and I was picking Randy Couture in those fights. The problem is I think that people underestimate how controlling a wrestler can be when allowed to be left in their element, and that's the reason why so many people underestimated Randy Couture, and Randy Couture's been able to walk away with all these victories, is people underestimate how controlling a wrestler can be. And again, with Brock Lesnar, you're going to see even more of that. Randy Couture is an awesome fighter, but the problem is he weighs 225 pounds. He's going to walk into this fight about 225 pounds. Brock Lesnar has to cut weight to get down to 265, the weight limit. He is a true heavyweight, and he's a huge heavyweight. He can carry around 265 pounds, a basically solid mass. I mean, the guy's a genetic freak. There are no heavyweights that pack the kind of power that Brock Lesnar does. Even Joe Rogan was talking about how they got to get his gloves specially designed because his hands are so big. And that's good genetics like that is something that you can't just, train. You can't train for good genetics. You either have that or you don't. And Brock Lesnar has definitely got that. His wrestling background and work ethic is amazing. Brock Lesnar doesn't stop learning. He's like a sponge, and watching him train is insane. I try to picture Randy Couture training with the same intensity of Brock Lesnar. I can't do it. I think Randy Couture trains smart. He's been doing this for a long time. He's a seasoned vet. But at 45 years old, he's not going to be able to put his body through the type of training that Brock Lesnar is putting himself through for this fight. As a result, I don't think that Randy Couture stands much of a chance if Brock makes this a cardio contest. If Randy Couture is able to play the experience game, he's able to basically get Brock to make a mistake. That's the only way Randy Couture is going to win. basically the same way Frank Mir won, or the same way that Nog would beat Brock if they were to fight tomorrow. However, if Brock Lesnar beats Randy Couture, which I think there's a very strong possibility that he does, and he moves on, and he also defeats a submission stylist, either a rematch with Frank Mir or a match with Nog, I think that it opens up some very interesting possibilities. Now, overall, I would pick Nog to win this heavyweight tournament. I've stated that before in the past. But I'm not picking him because I think he's got more potential, or that he's a better fighter than Brock Lesnar. I think that a lot of people, if Brock Lesnar is defeated at this point in his career, I think it happens because he hasn't had time to really acclimate himself to mixed martial arts. He's still learning the sport. But the thing of it is, Brock Lesnar's still a young fighter. He's got plenty of years ahead of him to continue training and to continue competing. And being the genetic freak that he is, he's going to pick this stuff up extremely fast. And in a fight with Fedor, realistically, if a fight with Fedor was to happen with Brock Lesnar, it's not going to happen for at least another year. It'll be mid to late 2009. That gives Brock a whole other year of training in submissions, in the tricks of the trade to get up there. And my main reason for picking Randy Couture over Fedor in that fight would be Randy's control factor. I think Randy would dominate Fedor in the clinch. I think that his wrestling would prove too much. I think Fedor is good in all things. He's probably brown belt level in all different parts of mixed martial arts. The problem is the place where Randy is stronger at, he's going to be able to tie up Fedor, get him down, and basically pound him out. Now that we're looking at a 46-year-old Randy Couture before he ever gets a chance to fight Fedor, I have to say, there's going to be a point in time where age is going to be a factor for Randy Couture. And I think that the golden age for Randy versus Fedor has passed. I think if Randy Couture fought Fedor back during the time when he first beat Chuck Liddell, the very first time, that would have been a prime matchup. If Randy Couture would have moved to heavyweight at that time and fought Fedor, because I believe Randy Couture hit his prime at a later time. I don't think that Randy really had a young prime. I think his prime was late 30s. And that time is long past. And as it stands right now, I think that Randy Couture is it's going to get to the point where he's just too damn old for this shit, period. And it happens to everybody, and at the age Randy Couture is at right now, I just think that it's difficult to pick Randy in a fight with Fedor for that reason. Now, obviously, Fedor's going to fight Josh Barnett coming up here, and just because I want to see this match between Brock and Fedor happen, I'm hoping that Fedor can get through Josh Barnett. Which I'm assuming he will. He's got plenty of cockhuggers out there dangling and thinking that he's going to do it. So who knows? He might actually be able to pull this shit off. But if he does, and if the UFC is able to acquire Fedor, and they do the Brock Lesnar Fedor matchup, if Brock is able to get through this heavyweight tournament, I think it makes for some very interesting problems. And even if it happens in the future, it just makes the matters worse for Fedor, because he's going to have to deal with a more experienced Brock Lesnar. And again, like I said, I don't see Fedor dominating Brock in the clinch. I don't see him dominating Brock on the ground. Brock's way too strong. He's way too gifted to have the same type of problems that the fighters do. So again, I think that Brock Lesnar is kind of going to be playing the dark horse of this division for a little while. As he continues to pick up the game, he's going to keep taking out top-ranked fighters. I think he's likely going to take out Randy Couture unless he makes a mistake. When he moves on to either the winner of Nog and Frank Mir, we're going to see how he has adapted his game to submissions. If he's able to beat either one of those two, I think Brock's time has come at that point. It's going to take a lot to beat this guy. And there's no one standing in line saying, I want to fight Brock Lesnar. It's going to be an easy fight. Everybody knows that if they fight Brock Lesnar, there's going to be an ass whooping in that fight, and it's going to be a heavy ass whooping. So, again, when it comes down to the Fedor versus Brock Lesnar fight, I think that Brock Lesnar holds every advantage in this fight, in every position except maybe the stand-up. But I think that all that's going to switch around in a year. Agree or disagree, that's your fucking problem, but the bottom line remains Brock Lesnar is the best pick to beat Fedor at this point.